Title race is on. The title race is finally on. If Man City can win the game against Sunderland, they will be 2 points behind Arsenal, I believe. And I also have to give a shout out to Aston Villa. Huge shout out to Aston Villa, bro. They did not give up. What a game by both teams. What an amazing game by both teams. I enjoyed this game. As a neutral fan, as a Chelsea fan, I have to be honest, this was a good game. Aston Villa really gave it to Arsenal. And Arsenal tried to do the best they could to win this game. They did the best they could to try to, maybe tie this game, hoping they could draw this game. And Aston Villa was like, nah, we're getting just 3 points. Want this win. And that's what Aston Villa did. What's going on, guys? It's Black Ralphie. I'm here to talk about Aston Villa versus Arsenal, where Arsenal went away to Villa Park against to go up against Aston Villa, who has been on an amazing run of games right now. I feel like every Arsenal fans and non-football fans understood that this Aston Villa team is not someone that is not a team you can just easily score against and go home. They're not a team you can just easily grab 3 points against, especially right now. Right now, currently, they are the most informed team right now, even more than Arsenal. And they proved it today. They showed why they're the most informed team right now. Let's keep in mind, at the beginning of the league, about 4 or 5 games in, Aston Villa was playing horrible. They weren't winning. They were goalless. They couldn't find a way to score. The goals wasn't coming in for Aston Villa. And then all of a sudden, they went 9 wins out of 10 games. 9 wins out of 10 games. That lets you know how informed they are. The goals is not just coming from Ollie Watkins. The goals is not just coming from Morgan Rogers. It's coming from everywhere. Buendia, Matty Cash, Tillerman, Nelly. And I'm like, big shout out to these guys. Onana, very solid. Aston Villa came in with a 4-2-3-1 formation, and I think it was a very solid formation. Matson played very good today. I've always been skeptical about Ian Matson, but he was very very solid today. He held it down for Aston Villa, even when he was going forward, attacking, nice crosses, nice link up play he had with Rogers, nice link up play he had with Onana, Kamara. Very solid by Ian Matson, because I don't rate him that highly, but I guess he played the whole 90 minutes and he showed that he can be a starter for Unai Emery. Um, Aston Villa, Arsenal, I feel sorry for them because you could tell that their defense, this is not the same defense that's been very solid for Arsenal. The same defense that was being compared to Chelsea '05 defense. This is not the same defense, right? Saliba is out, Gabriel is out, Mosquera was out. He got injured against Brentford a couple days ago. So you had Ben White as the right back, you had Timber and Hincapié has the center backs pairing and Calafiori. I would be shocked against this Aston Villa team if Arsenal did not concede a goal. I would be very shocked if Arsenal did not concede a goal. And I feel like everyone knew that against this Villa team, Arsenal will concede a goal because you have Jurien Timber and Hincapié as a center back pairing. Like I don't expect those two guys to know what it's like to have the chemistry or the teamwork to prevent the goals coming in. And I have to give a big shout out to David Raya. I know that, he's on the losing end of the game, but this is the most he had to save. This is the most David Raya had to save. So that lets you know how bad Arsenal defense was, you know? Very bad how shows you how bad Arsenal defense was. David Raya was making amazing saves. Um it's very, very interesting how the game just like straight up just happened, to say. Um, it was about the 36th minute. Aston Villa was leading. They came in with a one goal lead thanks to Matty Cash being able to, net the how would I say it? It was kind of behind Eze, which was weird to me because Eze had his back on him, and I don't know why Eze didn't pay attention to him. And Matty Cash went past him with a late run, and it crossed over, and then just finished right past Ryo, in between Ryo's legs, bro. I mean, Matty Cash has been phenomenal for Aston Villa, bro. He's been one of the best players, man, and one of the best fullbacks in the league right now. This game and the previous games have shown that it was a lovely goal by Matty Cash in between David Ryo's legs right there. It was one goal up. And I think Aston Villa did a good job being able to hold it down throughout the whole first half because Arsenal was trying to use the possession ability, the ability to possess the ball, to pass the ball around, hoping a gap will open up. And prior to the goal that Aston Villa scored, because Saka had a couple of chances, there was some lovely shots he was making. But shout out to Martinez, he did a good job saving. The defense did a good job clearing the ball away from the threat that Arsenal had, and really shows just how you know it just kind of feels like Arsenal offensively has been very lacking in a way, which is kind of a bit worrying if you are an Arsenal fan. You will be worrying that Arsenal is kind of they might be struggling to score goals right now because it felt like from what I was watching, they were given the ball to Saka to do something, and he was kind of doing something. Um, I think the first half went down is understandable. 52nd minute, lovely goal by Trossard. Eberechi Eze came off, and rightfully so. Eze was mid. He did not play good. Like I want to make sure, like he doesn't have that defensive IQ and that defensive awareness to be in the position of where Calafiori should be in to stop Matty Cash from making that run. Go watch the highlights and see who was guarding Matty Cash for that goal. It was Eze, and by the time Eze reacted to Matty Cash, it was too late. It was too late for him to react to Matty Cash having the ball and shoot a nutmeg in David Raya. But so I think Ateta made the right choice subbing off Eze. And then that's when Leandro Trossard came on, and I rate Trossard. Trossard has been one of the best finishers for Arsenal. He's been very clutch. He's been an amazing finisher. His ability to just bail Arsenal out of, you know, bad situations is not talked about enough, and it should be, you know. And I think Arsenal was, I wouldn't say they were gaining momentum, but they were definitely gaining. They had the possession. They were definitely passing the ball around, trying to find a way to open up Aston Villa because Aston Villa played a very good mid block and playing very solid defense. And then that's when you came a little bit of overlapping between Odegaard and Bukayo Saka. So I think Saka shot at Martinez. Martinez kind of headed the ball out. He kind of punched the ball out just for Trossard to be at the right place at the right time at the right position to tap it in. Angels 1-1. Amazing goal. Very solid goal by Trossard, saving Arsenal, giving Arsenal hope, giving Arsenal a chance. And I'll be honest, the game was going back and forth, man. Lovely saves that David Raya was making. Amazing save that Evan Martinez was making. This goalie should be talked about for what they were doing, man. Arsenal was gaining possession, trying to break down Aston Villa. Aston Villa was very structured at the back. The midfield did not give up. They did not. Tillerman was amazing. Declan Rice was amazing. Both teams trying to bust the midfield, and neither team trying to give up at all. The fact I was actually impressed that Aston Villa had depth from the bench. They had a lot of players that I look at coming on the bench and I'm saying, wow, these are good players, you know. Um, Obviously Donya Malin came on, um Jadon Sancho came on, Lindelof came on, Emiliano Buendia came on, who is I will get to talk about for a minute. But before I talk about the goal winner by Buendia, I'm talking about Ollie Watkins. Ollie Watkins did not play good this game. He was very mid. This game could have been 2 goals up before Arsenal scored, before Trossard scored a goal. And he was very poor, and I think it was very right for Unai Emery to take Alan Watkins off because he did not play good for Arsenal. For Aston Villa, held back there, he held them back. His drop, his hold up ability was very good in my opinion, but there was a lot of counter attack, the transition counter attacking chances that Aston Villa had, and Watkins, it felt like he was just gifting the ball to David Raya. So David Raya was just catching the ball. Like he was the saves was just directly at David Raya. I'm like, shoot it to the left corner, shoot it to the right corner, man. Like that was very poor of Watkins. Um, I think because Saka also came off as well. I think he was solid as well. Made some kind of forced the equalizer to happen thanks to Bukayo Saka. But then again, what do you know? There was a chance where Madueke had a chance to put the one to give Arsenal the goal lead, to give Arsenal the second goal, where Declan Rice from the corner made a low cross and Madueke had a chance to cut the ball back and shoot it with his left foot, but instead he just blindly shot the ball and it was out of bounds anyway. Like, what's his name? Martinez didn't have to do much at all. And then 87 minute, the hero for Aston Villa came. It was very scrappy. You know, Jordan Sancho, there was a cross coming. Jordan Sancho headed the ball to Brenda. He shot it. It was blocked again. Aston Villa was shooting the ball, blocked again. But third time to charm, Emiliano Buendo came, shot the ball, and it was a goal. And I'm sure you were so happy for the guy. It was an amazing goal. You know, Aston Villa showed that they wanted it, and this shows just how amazing this Aston Villa team is. I mean, this imagine Aston Villa having players coming on the bench and being able to score a winning goal. We should be talking about that with Arsenal, but no, we are saying this about Aston Villa. We showed you just how great this Aston Villa team can be because they are in a title race. We have to acknowledge the fact that Aston Villa is in the title race. They are 3 points behind Arsenal, I believe. Obviously, if Man City wins, they'll fall to third, but hey, regardless, it doesn't matter. They are still in the title race. And this win has motivated them and given them a chance for them to believe in themselves that they could win, they can challenge, you know? And it's very, very impressive from Aston Villa. Shout out to Unai Emery. This team has been very amazing to watch. The players have been very, you know, strong-willed, the way they're just trying to work together and grab these wins. I mean, 9 wins out of 10 games, and that loss coming from a trash ass Liverpool team lets you know just how great this team can truly be. Um, let's see what the rest of the games is gonna be. The title race is on. That's all what I have to say. Title race is on. So now Arsenal has to figure out what they gotta do. They gotta figure out what they gotta do because the Blue Sharks is coming, and so is Villa. Appreciate it, guys. Peace out. I'm gone for a bit. I will be back again to talk about reviews about Chelsea versus Bournemouth and possibly talk about other games that's going on as well. See ya.